Dear Great Pumpkin, and rises out of his pumpkin patch and flies through religion, politics, and the Great Pumpkin.
I will wait all day for the Great Pumpkin if I have to. I mean, he's supposed to show up to the pumpkin patch who's most sincere, and I mean, look at this place. I know, right? Oh my gosh, I think it's happening. Oh my gosh, he's actually here. It's actually happening. He's finally here. It's the greatest pumpkin of all, Pumpkinhead. Let's enter the tape too. What's up, all gendered dudes, stony bonies, and tape heads, and welcome back to another episode of The Tape Tomb, a show where each week we talk about some of my favorite titles in my ever-growing horror VHS collection here. This week we bring another 80s all-star to the table with Stan Winston's 1988 classic, Pumpkinhead. This movie stars a true icon here at the Tape Tomb, Lance Henriksen, and arguably our second favorite role of his, and I'm sure you could probably guess the first.
I may be synthetic, but I'm not stupid.
And as far as major stars go, that's about it. But who else do you need when you got Lance and Mushroom the dog, who's played in bigger roles than any teenage human on the roster? This movie is a classic slasher revenge tale with a creature feature twist. And with Stan Winston behind the wheel, who's had his hands in such special effects departments in major films such as Terminator, Aliens, and The Monster Squad, you know you're in for a treat. If you haven't heard about Pumpkinhead before, I don't know how, but somehow, some way, you heard it from us, and I think that's worth a like and subscribe. We're always talking about great horror movies here at the Tape Tomb, and if we've told you about a new one today, we could do it again. But what's this movie even about?
Each year, the Great Pumpkin rises out of the pumpkin patch that he thinks is the most sincere.
Not even close. Roll the film. Pumpkinhead starts off with a little glimpse into the history of the monster, who's actually a demon of vengeance that one must summon upon you to seek revenge. We see little Lance hiding in his house with his family as a panicked neighbor is banging on their door, claiming that something is after him. After Mr. Harley warns the guy to go away and that he can't help him, we hear this guy get torn to pieces. Years later, now little Ed Harley has a little one of his own, and they live out in the same dusty old town that their pappy and their pappy's pappy lived, running a general store. Life is amazing. They love each other, they have a cute dog, everyone is all smiles. Now is the perfect time for some asshole teens to arrive and jumpstart this tragedy. After Ed leaves his son and dog Gypsy at the store so he can deliver some goods to a neighbor's house, these idiots show up, and what do? Of course, in a freak dirt biking accident, they kill Ed's kid and then leave him behind in fear of being caught. Luckily, one of the guys is decent enough to stay behind, and when Ed comes back, he is pissed. He takes his son and does the only reasonable thing you can do in times like these. Find your closest spooky southern witch hut and have her help you summon a demon of vengeance from this misty old pumpkin patch. Open and close case. The demon known as Pumpkinhead is summoned, but at the cost of Ed Harley's soul. As this demon runs around viciously killing the teens one by one, we also find out that due to the ritual, Pumpkinhead and Ed Harley are connected, and as Pumpkinhead turns more human, Ed is turning more monstrous. One of them has to die. Who's it going to be? Find out for yourself in the 1988 classic, Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead is a classic and a fine addition to the creature feature genre. Does he look like a xenomorph? Does he sound like a xenomorph sometimes? Does that make him a xenomorph ripoff? No, he's a demon. And of course, I love watching shitty teenagers get theirs. And that is Pumpkinhead's mission. And not only does he accomplish that, but he does so by kind of gloating and rubbing it in their face the entire movie. And speaking of shitty teenagers from the 80s, this guy might take the cake. Joel is the kind of guy that makes Mick from Team Wolf seem like some sort of golden boy.
Stick with your own kind, freak.
Ugh, hate that guy. People sometimes ask me, "Hey Larry, I see that there's 3 more Pumpkinhead movies after this one. Are they worth watching?" And I say, sure, any movie is worth watching once, but every movie after this one is really a far cry from the approach and the feel of the very first film, and the 3rd and 4th movies can only be watched on DVD and Blu-ray, and that doesn't take up nearly enough space on my shelf. Here's some interesting facts about Pumpkinhead. The dog actor Mushroom, who played Ed Harley's dog Gypsy, also played Barney in the movie Gremlins, and even did his own stunts. The cabin where all the teens go in this movie is actually the same house used as the Jarvis house in Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The King, Lance Henriksen, is such a dedicated actor, he went well out of his way to pull the part. He had a set of dentures made to give him a more rural look, and even went out of his way to get his own costume. The cap that he wore, his World War II pump-action shotgun, and the silver coins that he gave to the witch Haggis, he actually found while practicing for the role. Thank you all for watching another episode of The Tape Tomb. If you've enjoyed this episode, make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below, and even leave us a comment telling us what you think about Pumpkinhead or a movie we should do in future episodes. Make sure you tune into our Twitch stream under the same title here on YouTube, Nightmare Fuel Streaming. Me and Nick hang out every Wednesday and just hang out with our audience, chat about what's going on in horror and sci-fi, and play some of the coolest horror and sci-fi games. Feel free to hop in the chat and tell us that our opinions are wrong, but you like us anyway. Speaking of Nick, tune into our sister series Airlock Shock every other Wednesday here at Nightmare Fuel on YouTube. Nick talks about some of his favorite sci-fi movies just like we do horror here at The Tape Tomb. Once again, signing off, this is Larry Downs. Stay spooky, my friends, and we will see you in the sequel.